Denmark's energy minister begs citizens to stop driving as global energy shock spreads. Iran launched another round of overnight strikes on tankers and Gulf energy infrastructure, sending Brent crude back above $101 a barrel, sparking fears that chaos in the Middle East has triggered what the IEA warned could be the largest ever supply disruption in the history of the global oil market. It is looking now like about 15% of capacity is going to go offline. The war in the Middle East is creating the largest supply disruption in the history of the global market, the IEA said on Wednesday. Just a reminder, in the 70s, I think it was about like 9% or 7 to 9, something like that I saw the other day, that went offline during the global oil crisis in the 70s. And then the impacts of that were felt for like the next decade. So just keep that in mind here. With the record release of SPRs by IEA members announced on Wednesday failing to halt Brent from re-entering triple-digit territory, Denmark's energy minister issued a dire warning to citizens across the Scandinavian country, urging them to immediately conserve fuel and electricity. What the Danes should please do is, if there is any energy consumption that you can do without, if it is not strictly necessary to drive the car, then don't do it. Denmark's Minister for Climate, Energy, and Utilities told broadcaster DR in an interview earlier today, quoted by CNBC. He said that energy shock has driven the country to rely on its oil reserves amid towering oil prices with no end to the conflict in sight. Firstly, it can be felt in the private wallet, and secondly, it can help stretch our reserves so that they last longer, he said. Energy conservation warnings have also emerged in the UK, Vietnam, and the Philippines as governments and industry groups try to curb fuel demand and protect domestic reserves to weather the energy crisis. And then to add to that, this is from, I think it's Reuters. Asia's governments are scrambling to manage a fuel shortage caused by high oil prices and a closed Strait of Hormuz. Asia is particularly dependent on oil exports from the Middle East. Japan and South Korea, respectively, source 90% and 70% of their oil from that region. The energy crunch is forcing governments to adopt more extreme measures to save fuel. On March 10th, Thailand ordered civil servants to take the stairs rather than the elevator and to work from home for the duration of the crisis. It increased the air conditioning temperature to 27 degrees Celsius, and it will tell government employees to wear short-sleeved shirts over their suits, or instead of suits. Thailand has about 95 days of energy reserves left, according to Reuters. Vietnam also called on businesses to let people work from home to reduce the need for travel and transportation. The Philippines is pushing for a 4-day work week and has ordered officials to limit travel to essential functions only. South Asia is getting hit hard too. Bangladesh brought forward the Eid al-Fitr holiday, allowing universities to close early in a bid to save fuel. Pakistan has also instituted a 4-day week for government offices and closed schools. India suspended shipments of liquefied petroleum gas to commercial operators to prioritize supplies for households, leading to worries from hotels and restaurants that they may be forced to close without fuel supplies. Asian countries are also intervening more directly into fuel markets. South Korean president on Monday said the country would introduce a price cap on petroleum products and warned that the current crisis presented a significant burden on the country's economy. Around 1.7 million barrels of Korea-bound oil has been held back per day due to the ongoing conflict. Japan's industry minister did not rule out dipping into Japan's national oil reserves, adding that the country will take all possible measures to ensure stable supplies of energy. On Monday, Indonesia's finance minister said that the country would set aside $22.6 billion for energy subsidies and pay state energy firms to keep fuel and electricity prices affordable for its residents. Thailand plans to freeze cooking gas prices until May and encourage consumers to use alternative energy sources like biodiesel and benzene. Vietnam is also considering scrapping its tariffs on fuel imports. And then I'm just going to stop there.